Definitely, and tied to that, I mean, we're also seeing this added flexibility, people wanting to work more like project-based, maybe not be committed to a full-time job anymore, the gig economy, people like doing their own business. So, I mean, we're seeing also that dynamic and change in the way of working. That's maybe the old 8 to 5, 40-hour full-time job is not what people are looking for in the younger generations these days. In fact, sometimes I ask them, like, what are the Maltese youngsters doing these days? Like in Malta, if you had to go out and understand. I think the gig economy is on the rise, and you can see even like certain products coming out and then developing. So it's interesting to see that development.
Their goals is different. From what I see, from my involvement in Scouts, their goals are different in life.
They've changed, though.
They want to enjoy life. They want to live life to the fullest. It might not necessarily be what we understand by consciously or present or grounded, but they want to enjoy life. So many things are delayed, and we can start seeing it now. So marriage, have children, buying property, things are delayed. Many people want to travel. They want to experience life and what the world has to offer, basically.
Yeah, open to experience.
And money has become a huge it has always been a huge motivator, but I think it became a life goal to that extent. I had a recent podcast where the guest expressed that money is a tool, and it should be seen as a tool, that it will help you get from A to B. So it's not a means to an end, but rather it comes to you, not byproduct or as a byproduct, but your aim shouldn't be ideally to make money, but to do something good from which you can make money from. It's very idealistic and romantic.
I know my grandma used to say that money is not everything in life, but it's damn important, you know.
No.
So there is that element of importance in it. But if you're controlled by money, then it's a different. And you can see it even if you're offering a job to someone and things like that. I mean, if you're super money driven, sometimes it skews the way that you see things as well. So if you're just looking at the money, but you're failing to see the opportunity of growth that the law can give you, and the vision of where you can get, that is where I think maybe it cannot work. So sometimes you need to think a bit long term, because if you just see the short term, it's.
I think it happens with everything. Just we picked money as the topic, but
exactly.
All extremes are wrong. So we mentioned training, and I say this all the time. If you train too much, it's overtraining, and you're harming your body. You're doing more harm than good. So a good thing can be have negative implications as well. So yes, money is good, money is important, and it's good to work hard in order to earn more money. But then if it becomes an obsession, a fixation,
that's right.
As you said, you start not seeing other important aspects. And I think that is where the damage will be done, in a sense.
Recently, I read this book, Ikigai. I'm sure that you've heard about it. I find that sense of flow and that passion and meaning in life. And that ties into, I mean, I think as long as you're really passionate about what... Because it becomes a bit of an obsession. If you, I mean, want to become... an excellent surfer, you need to really get into it. You need to see videos on YouTube. I mean, you really understand, live that life, live the surfer life on the beach. But you need to, in a way, get obsessed. But if it's done in the right way and you find that sense of flow, then it becomes a passion that can really help you really go into a different zone and switch off from what you're doing, or might become your full-time gig in reality. But I think that sense of flow is where it gives a dynamic to the obsession, because sometimes I feel that unless you really get into something and to a certain extent get a bit obsessed about it, it's difficult to master.
Yes,
so
I think you have to go through it. And I think there was a video where Mr. Beast was interviewed. I'm not sure whether you saw it.
Mr. Bean or?
Mr. Beast.
Mr.
Beast.
Right.
Well, he was obsessed. About Mr. Beast and how he rose on YouTube. And it's very evident, and he mentions it very frequently, that he was obsessed with making it on YouTube, which he did. He became
and a lot of successful people have become obsessed in what they do. I think it's a matter of finding that balance, and that understanding. This is my sense of flow, And sometimes, and I'm sure you've felt like you're doing something and you have a lot of hobbies.
Yes.
But you really get lost in it completely. And it's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
It's genuine. I mean, you literally lose track of time.
Yeah.
Now it means you're missing all your meetings and important family events, and then it becomes a bit of a problem.
Yes.
But you find the right balance between how I can do it, but you really get into that sense of like really passion. I can spend, I don't know, a night editing this video, for example.
It's a
nice feeling.
It's a nice feeling. There's a
yes.
fine line, I think. But as you said, as long as it's not affecting your quality of life and negatively affecting your relationships and the world around you, I think being very passionate about something, because that's the key word here, being very passionate or being obsessive.
For sure.
That's the fine line between those two words, I would say, being passionate and being obsessive.
And then there's greed.
Yes.
Because if you read the book, like, and you read and you can see, like, if you go to a certain region in Japan, you'd see just like these type of knives, and they just do knives. They're obsessed with that. They're masters at it. They can do it excellently. Sometimes you say, okay, we're not doing knives, let me do forks. Let's do it. And then you start getting, and this is as well with us, like really understanding, okay, what is important in life. I'm managing 10 things. I think 2 things need to give.
Yeah.
What will I need to give up to make sure that I'm maintaining everything at a good level? And that is, I think,
but the Japanese culture is very focused on being a master of your own craft. So in order to become a craftsman, you need to spend 10 years as an apprentice. So Japan is very, very focused on being. They take pride in being a master and doing knives for 70 years and becoming a master in that. I think that they take pride, and there's nothing wrong with that, I believe.
No, I think it's that is where you become a true master in that. And
our culture is a Mediterranean one, so we like to experience different things, and they both have their own pros and cons, I would say. I can't imagine myself doing one thing only for my whole life. I think it's not for me.
Not even for me, to be honest. Maybe a hobby that
that is consistent throughout your life.
Yes.
Yes, but a career and a craftsman on that, that's very.
And it's difficult to find someone who's going to keep that level of motivation. I mean, you need to live it and live that certain lifestyle. I think